everybody. I'm hoping tonight we are going to have both picture and sound. We've got some new equipment we're testing out. I'm actually working on a kind of a little computer instead of my phone. Yay! Maybe, just maybe, we're going to have some good luck here. So, anyway, I've actually got a monitor too, so I can see myself and fix up whatever, whatever. Anyway, just about didn't happen tonight. We had the grandkids for the last 2 days. It's one of those days when you get up and you have to use 2 canes to get out of bed. And then you get in the bathtub and you wonder if you're going to have to dial 911 to get back out of the bathtub. But hey, we're up and running. It only took all day, but we're good to go. Behind me, I have some beautiful tulips that I have started, and I'm working for a big show in October 27th, 28th, 29th in Hood River, Oregon. And I hope if you're in the neighborhood, you will go to the Sustain Interiors Decor Design Shop. And we'll have more information on that as we get a little bit closer. But I'm working on some very large florals, huge ones, some of my favorite things to paint. And so I thought I would share with you a little bit of my process and how to glaze these flowers into something just slightly different, right? Slightly different color. I'm not happy with that color at all. It's kind of meh. So I'm going to get going on that and show you what's called the glazing process. And what I have to start with, I want to show you how I get to this point ahead of time. It's really it's a long process, so I can't really show it to you, right from the beginning to the end. Hello, it takes 3 months to do one of these things. But I want to show you the reference. Here is one of the references. I usually print one up in black and white and maybe a couple of copies in black and white. And then I will do some in color. And I think these flowers may have been all yellow. I'm not really sure. I can't remember what the beginning was. And what I will do in order to what I call detangle the scene. When you're painting a person or something that's complicated, your brain just has a hard time finding where your little bookmark left off on the picture. You know what I'm talking about? You look at the inside of a rose and you say, oh man, I can't paint that. It's got too many things in it. I don't even know where to start. So tulips are really a good subject to do this on. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to blow this up. And sometimes, especially when I was a beginner, I would blow up the flowers to the size of the flowers. Okay, well, that takes several sheets of paper for each flower. I don't have to do that anymore because I've trained my brain a little bit better on how to do that. So I take a photo, and the main thing I want to be able to do is to dissect the shape. So I'll start out like this. You can see this. I'll come in and I will say, okay, well, I can see that shape right there. And so I'm going to draw around this shape like that. And I can figure out what that individual shape is. See that? And then I'll go back in and I will say, okay, I think I can see this right here. And then there's a little curl of a shape right there. See that? That's how I do it. And so I usually use a red pen. I just couldn't find one today. But you can use different colors of pens for different parts of the flowers, the inside, the outside. And the reason I do this is so that I can see what they are. Okay, number one, if I can't see what the flower is because it's just too complex, I will dissect the flower into pieces, and I can really figure it out much easier. And you can do this. This is almost a couple ways of doing it. Number one, you can do it by graphing. But when you have something that's round and it's a little bit, Well, it's not a building and it's not a face and it's just flowers. Flowers are different. They're really different. Got all these different round teardrop shapes and well, it's just a lot easier if you see what they look like by memorizing the shapes a little bit or separating them. Hope that makes sense. I hope that helps you a lot. All right. So then I will go on to a large canvas. I might tone the canvas and then start working out the different shapes. I will maybe use charcoal. I think on this one I didn't. I just used paint because I painted this painting several times in different colors. Some that have all yellow flowers that somebody owns here in town. Some that have pinks and purples and different backgrounds. And I think this is probably my third. Oh, I did one in red. Ooh, with the gold back. But I will change up the colors in the background just for my satisfaction. Love them. So can't go wrong with that. So meanwhile, here I am. I'm going to get a little paper towel. These are the Viva paper towels that are called Signature, not the new ones that I was talking about the other day. They changed the formula, and the new formula is not the same as the old. So the old formula, everybody went nuts. The old formula is the Signature kind, and we are now going to get into that a little bit. I also have my medium, Neo Megel. Now you can use something like Galkide light with a little bit of thinner. You can use uh, liquid with, just you don't want it too thick. That's the main thing. And then I put that in just a little plastic cup. And I've got a couple of these plastic cups that I have on hand. You can use a cat food can, whatever you want. And I can use either a rag or I can use a paintbrush. This is totally, totally dry right now. That's the key to glazing properly, is make sure that it's totally dry. And so I want to come in and this one I got a phone call in the middle of something and I had to leave on this one. But I'm going to take my brush and dip it into the medium. I'm going to just kind of slosh a little bit of that medium onto the flower. I better get out of the way here. So I'm giving it kind of a little bit of a slick surface to start with. And it's got a bit of a tonal rendering in this yellow color. And the more glazes, the more transparent. That's transparent paint. No white, all right? Don't use any white when you're glazing. White doesn't work in glazing. No. And we're going to come in and I'm going to take a little bit of my cadmium yellow medium. That's not the medium. That's what is the difference between medium? Okay, light, middle tone, dark, cadmium, yellow medium. And I'm going to put that on very thinly with the medium on it. The medium and the medium. Oh my gosh, we're going to be in trouble. And I'm now just sloshing that over. You can see how that brightens that up. And you can still see the background in there a little bit. And then I'm going to use my rag and I'm going to, I'm not being careful any way, shape, or form. I'm going to use my rag and then I'm going to pull out some highlights or whatever I want to do, rub that in a little bit. And it gives it this wonderful glow. So it's pretty cool. Pretty, pretty, pretty beautiful. I've got this problem where I have this dried blotch of is that transparent orange. I'm going to have to overcome that a little bit tonight. But I'll take my little rag and then I can kind of pull up some of the highlights by just taking the rag like this and pulling up a little bit of these highlights here and there and making sure I don't have any weirdo streaks of paint or cookies. And we're going to just do that. Okay, now inside where it's dark, I'm going to now wipe off my brush a little bit. And I can come in with some of this transparent orange is one that's made by Gamblin. You could use a Shiva orange if you want. I'm going to also put some more medium on there. It's a transparent color. Only use transparent colors. Okay, what kind are transparent? Transparent orange, most yellows, not yellow ochre. Yellow ochre is an opaque color that you cannot see through. So I've got yellows, I've got transparent orange, I've got quinacridone violet. You can use ultramarine blue if you want. You can use that, or phthalo blue. There are a lot of, or turquoise, dark turquoise. Light teal is opaque color. Don't want to use that. So, okay, here's my transparent orange. I'm going to come in here. I'm going to probably have to put a few more layers in there just to kind of darken it up. I don't even think you can see that. Okay, there we go. Now that kind of will hopefully solve my little problem. I must have really gotten called out on the phone. And then see this part right here? Can you see that? Yeah, okay. I'm going to throw in a little bit of that orange color and just darken that up a little bit so that that flower begins to kind of go back into space. Now, you could make this entire thing in black and white, blacks, whites, and grays in acrylic, and then glaze over the top in oil. Ah, that's a nice one. And you can make them any color that you want. Really a neat process. You can glaze in acrylic by using something called PVA sizing. It's like Elmer glue, and you just thin out your next layer of paint, and you can use it in acrylic as well. But it dries so fast, it's really hard to do something this size, not get yourself into trouble, especially on a hot summer day, which today is not a hot summer day, so we're all safe. Okay, so now that's kind of a fun one. That's the yellow. And you can do several layers of this too, which is just an amazing thing. I'm now going to take a little bit of that orange and kind of make it a little more dimensional by throwing in this color like that. Right. I can change these colors number of times. I've gone from, oh my goodness, I did a big iris and changed it from I think it was a burgundy iris to a blue iris to a black iris. I kept messing with it. Sometimes I overdo it and I get myself into trouble, and I should stop when I stop, but I don't always. Anyway, yeah, you can kind of get yourself into hot water, but you can always wipe it off over it again and let it dry for 6 months. Try one more time. Next, I'm going to now come in with let's really mess with this one. This is kind of a cat food pink. It looks like cat food, so I don't really like it. Clean brush, clean brush. Let's see, what shall we do with this one? I'm really tempted to move this one into, should I make it into an orange? I don't want to have it ping-ponging too much. Let's try it in an orange. If I don't like it, I'll change it into a pink of some sort. But let's see what happens if we try that. Oh, I do like that. I've got my transparent orange, and I do like that. I like it. This one I broke a rule on. Okay, one of my rules is to always do things in odd numbers and never do things in twos and fours. How many roses are roses? How many tulips do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, it sort of works because they're kind of, they've got a little bit more off-center kind of feel to them. But really, nowadays, I would probably tend to work them odd number color, not odd number numbers of items on my paintings. If I find a good configuration, that's what I would do. So here's our little orange again. I'm going to throw a little bit more in there. So it makes this one really the focus. I don't know if I wanted it to be that. Sometimes you want to plan that out a little bit better. And okay, so and I'm overlapping this one. Who cares? I can come back and fix that with my little rag. Dip into my stuff again. And it's just a really fun way to play with that glowing kind of a thing. So, got a lot of work to do yet on these leaves. Leaves are not my favorite thing to paint, confessing. No, they're not. But anyway, a lot of the flowers I'm doing up in Hood River are going to be sunflowers. Got yellow sunflowers on purple. I've got white sunflowers, turquoise and black, and all kinds of really fun colors. Then we've got irises and tulips and that thing. And I think I'm going to be doing a series of ceramic coffee mugs with some of these designs. They're just really fun. This is a very weird color. Not jury's still out. I'm not real sure I like it, but we'll give it a go here. Look in my monitor and see if I'm okay with it. And then if I add white to this paint, if I add white to the paint and it becomes opaque, I can then kind of mess with it a little bit and bring it up a little with some highlights. That's fun. Just slop that on. Then, okay, I'm gonna look in there, kind of all right. Definitely brings these two to the foreground. Now, what would happen if I come back in and I'm going to go back in with a darker purple. I'm going to give this one more layer of really pretty purple on there that it just needs a little bit more into the darks. And then I'm going to also take a little bit of that dark violet. I think it's quinacridone violet, and I'm going to pop that into this. Make sure that it's nice and clean. It's so fun. It's so fun. And I guess I better watch out. I just popped some right into my yellow. Oh, look how easy that is to fix. That's awesome. Okay, I've got this little purple on my brush, and I'm going to put some of that purple in with that orange a little bit to give it a little depth. Go. That. Now I got to wipe off my brush. I'm going to grab my yellow brush again. And now I'm going to come in with a little bit of yellow. And this time it's not a glaze as much. I've got yellow with a little bit of white. Okay, so why is it not a glaze? It's white and yellow. And I'm going to just pull some of that onto that. Make it a little bit more opaque right there. In a few spots. How about a little bit more white? Cross it like that. Pull it that. Bringing up the lights just a little bit. Up the lights. You know, oh, there we go. That's what I wanted to see. A little bit more white into the yellow. I don't generally use straight white, so this is white with yellow in it. And then I'll kind of mute it down wherever I don't want to see too much. I've got to overcome that nasty little bad stain there, and I'll pull that in over here to where you can see that as it turns. It's going to be, the lightest light's going to be directly in line with the light where it comes out the farthest. So it's really just across that part right there. And then as it turns in a little bit, you might not see that that yellow so much. I'm going to pull a little bit of my orange in here and make it turn a little. Okay, good. There. All right, what else can we do to this? Okay, here's another thing. I'm going to now come in with that yellow again and a little bit of white. And now I'm going to just hold my breath and hopefully this will work. All right, here we go. Where does this come out? Maybe right about here. There. A little bit of the yellow with the white. And I got to look at my reference and see what that's really supposed to be doing. Let's see, sometimes it's hard to tell. And I've got Oh, I've got a little piece coming up here that should be in the light. So I'm going to throw a little bit of light there. And then I want to put a little bit of light right there. Light right there. Completely go the camera here. You can see how it begins to kind of come up. This one's also got a little piece that kind of out like that. So pull that like that. Ooh, that looks nice. I like that. And actually, this part right here is light. So pull that light up. In the dark over here, is there any light? No, no, no. Light going there. And then back into my yellow and then up here. Add a little bit of light there. See, probably as it goes around like that. Okay. And light. Isn't exactly like the reference, but it's pretty close. Okay. And now one of the things with these, I'm going to talk a little bit about the greens behind. I don't ever use green paint, okay? I use yellows with blues, yellows with blacks. I'll use all kinds of different things. Most of the time it's a yellow with a blue or a turquoise. So I will make green with, say, even transparent orange and phthalo blue, that sort of thing. It makes much more interesting greens rather than trying to squeeze it out of a tube. You know, you can buy tons and tons of green paint, and it doesn't get you anywhere as easily as just getting yourself some yellow, blue, various different kinds, and playing around with it. There's a whole lot more fun that goes into that sort of thing. Okay, so I'm happier with that flower. I think this one though is just too left out in the. I'm going to pull that around a little, and that needs a little bit more brightness there. Awesome. Okay, a little bit of a glow as it comes out. Well, that looks pretty good. That looks pretty good. So, okay, now what is going to make this look, this is dark against light. This is fairly dark again. Oh, this is light against dark. That's what I was hoping for, is that we would have a little more light. So I'm going to take quinacridone violet and add some white to it. And I want a nice contrast between here and here. So I'm going to come in and I really need to brighten that up. Brighten it up. That feels a little purple, but that's okay. Having a hard time getting that light enough. So that means what I'm going to have to do probably, oh, there we go. All right, that's coming out. You want to put some dark behind it in order for it to kind of work out, but I'll mess with that. Okay, so now I have this purple color here, and I want to make that kind of nice and glowy. So we'll put that. This is dried very matte. Now I'm going to create some stripies. I'll keep just working this until I'm happy. And then at the end, now see, I've got two colors on my brush at one time. That's fun. A little bit of white, a little bit of quinacridone violet, and I can create a striped feel by just putting two colors on, white and quinacridone violet. Because I've got a little medium on it, that Neo Magilp, I can do some fairly long strokes. If you don't put medium on it, it's not going to work. It's not going to, you're going to go, and you're going to have problems because it's just not going to, you're not going to be able to get long strokes. Now, these beautiful stripes on here, these kind of striations got here, the only way that you get those is by not picking and painting it. Remember, you're not painting a wall. You are creating a beautiful striped kind of a feel by putting more than one color onto your brush. And you could even use brushes wider than this one. This one's a 1-inch wide brush. And so if you choose to do that, you can really, really get some nice stripes going by doing that. Let's see if I can figure out how to make another stripe for you so that you can see. Where am I going? Okay, well, see, how about right here? Let's see if I can make it work. I'm going to come right up, flat up to there. Nope, I still can't see it. Got so much going on this piece. Let's come over here and start from this side. There I go. All right. Needs more medium. You can tell it's too dry. So if I add the medium to it and then just keep it moving, try not to hit the same spot 2 times. Sometimes you have to get a line or something you don't, but you want to just keep that brush moving and then reload it with more paint and up and do that. You know, make sure you got a lot of medium on it. Juice it up and make nice long strokes. Most of the time when we're painting landscapes and little things, okay, I always say don't make your paint strokes any longer than 2.5 inches. Well, in this case, we're going to do a little different, right? Different because on this one, we really want those long, drawn out, beautiful, long strikes of paint. And that's part of the beauty of this is to be able to do. The only way to do that is with lots and lots of medium. I'm going to throw a bunch of medium. I'm going to just juice this one up a little bit. This, by the way, this color is a very unique color. It is, you can't get that by mixing, you know, alizarin crimson and white. That one is called, what is this one called? Red magenta, I think. Let me double check. Oh, you can tell I can barely read it anymore. One of my favorite colors. It is primary red magenta. I hope. Yeah. So anyway, I'll buy a new tube. This one's done by, does this one? Lucas. It's a Lucas color, and I think it's called, oh, magenta red primary. Magenta red primary. And that's what you get this beautiful. And then this one is quinacridone violet. Okay, now I can see I've got some work to do on this one a little bit later, just so that I can make it nice and neat. What happens then? This feels like it's a little bit too green. Let's see if I can mute it down a little bit. I'm going to take a little bit of orange, a little bit of yellow, and I'm going to juice that up again. I'm going to take my stem. I'm going to just kind of do one long stroke like that. And I made it a little bit more orange. And then, of course, I do have a little bit of green that I made. Put that in. Forgot to set my blue out ahead of time. But yeah, you want to kind of make sure that you remember that your little stalks here are cylinders. Light, middle tone, dark. Light, middle tone, dark. Anything that is this. Light, middle tone, dark. Light, middle tone, dark. You know, that kind of a thing. Always remember light, middle tone, dark. You have to have all those things on there. Let's put this in here. A little bit of that going on. And now I'm going to correct this little piece here so that we get this little petal leaf in just right. And then I'll come back in and probably put some very dark values in. Flowers will pop forward. Okay. Well, how many minutes was that? That wasn't too long. Our last video went on for quite a while. And I hope you guys are watching them all on Thursday nights. And if you miss them on Thursday nights, you can go back onto my channel and look up that word live. So you look up on the videos and then it says videos and live. If you click on the live link, you can watch all of the Thursday night videos for a period of time. We're going to actually be putting back on the air late tonight or tomorrow morning the one with the little baby painting on with the professional. Good. So that's that. Keep stay in tune, and you'll find out hopefully on the channel by tomorrow morning, depending on if I get it. Okay. I think that's all I wanted to talk about tonight. It was kind of one of those crazy weeks. My poor darling little Piper, who is 3 years old, I went to pick her up at her mommy's or her daddy's shop. She got super excited and came running out, barreling out into the parking lot with her little goofy sandals and face planted right onto the pavement. And so that was not a good start. Yesterday, she got a little puffy lip, and wanted to wear a band-aid across her mouth. Guess what? Here's your tip for the day. Put a band-aid on a 3-year-old's mouth. They don't make a sound for it. Amazing. Let me know in some comments somewhere what you would like to see me paint. The last one we did was a little dog. It was a King Charles Spaniel. Is that what they're called? King Charles? And we did a real fast rendition of one of those little dogs. I'd like to see more babies, more flowers, a landscape, more portraits, more still life. Let me know what you'd like to see, and I will do my best to get those paintings up. Okay? And if you have any questions, do feel free to ask. Don't forget again to subscribe and share with your friends. We are working really hard to get our numbers up to 4,000 hours. Help us do it. Watch a video all the way through. This one. All right, you guys, we'll see you next Thursday night, if not sooner. And love you guys. Shout out to my students, Craig and Bonnie and Angela, Harry, and Bessie Joe, and to my sweet mother-in-law, Carol. Thanks for watching, and have a really lovely evening. And okay, later. Bye-bye for now.